Hello and welcome to this tutorial in which we'll see how we can perform an earthquake loading. So let me show you what we are looking at. So basically we will be applying an earthquake acceleration or seismic acceleration at the bottom surface of this model, which initially looked like this. But after we have applied the earthquake acceleration, as you can see, it has been slightly moving in the directions. So this earthquake acceleration will basically try to uh, uh, cause the failure of this embankment or slope. So let us start. So we'll go to the model. We'll create a new model. I'm just going to call it model 3, and in this model we'll go to part module. We'll create a 2D part, 2D shell part, and let's keep the size up to let's call it 40. Click on continue. We'll first create a line segment of 4 meter, and we'll go ahead and create another line segment of 4 meter perpendicular to the previous line segment, and we'll keep on moving. Now after this we'll create one more line segment of 4 meter. So this will be 4 again. Now we'll go to a height of 4 meter. Like that we can create a new line segment which will be the top of the slope, where it should be a 10 meter top slope. Now we'll just go down vertically and connect these sections and remove the extra parts. Also, to create the slope, we'll connect this slope and remove the internal connections. Yeah, so we have our geometry with us: 4 by 4 meter at the toe, 45-degree angle slope, and 10 meter plateau at the top. So this is a 2D geometry. I'll just click on done. After the part, we'll just go to property module and we'll assign the property directly, and we'll create the sections on the go. So we don't have any section, so we'll create a section. We'll call it it will be a solid homogeneous section. We'll call it soil, and after creating, we have to see that we don't have any material, so we'll create our material soil on the go as well. In general, density, mechanical elasticity, and plasticity, Mohr column. So these three parameters should be used for the soil, easiest one. So mass density we can take 1800 kilogram per meter cube. Elasticity we can take 30 to the power 6 Pascal, and Poisson's ratio of 0.45 for any soil will do. Mohr column, if we are using sandy soil, we can take 35 friction angle, and dilation angle will be 30 minus that friction angle, so it will be 5 around that. And cohesion we can take 500 because we can take zero cohesion basically, but for now I am just taking a nominal value which is 500. You can also go with the zero cohesion, but it will fail instantly if we have zero cohesion, so I am going for the 500. So all this and we'll just close it and click on OK. So we have assigned the property as well. Now we'll go to assembly. We'll move this and after assembly we'll create a step of dynamic loading. We'll call it EQ load, and it will be a dynamic explicit loading, and the time period will be 6 seconds. So we are assuming that the earthquake will be there for 6 seconds. Now after the step module, you can also continue to field output request and request your output at any intervals. So I generally go, what I do is that I use every X unit of time, and at exact time you can just ask for an output at every 0.1 second. So like that, and you can also reduce unwanted parameters if you don't want them, so that your output database can be smaller. And in the energy section, you can also do this same thing, 0.1 at every 0.1 unit of time. Yeah, and only ask for one energy output, history output. So we are done with it. Now we'll go to interaction. There is nothing required because it is only a single part. After interaction, we'll go to the load part, and in the load we'll apply gravity loading, uh, gravity, and oh sorry, I am in the boundary condition. So while we are here, what we can do is that we can apply the boundary condition. So before applying boundary condition, we can just go to the part module and create our sets. in the part itself. So let's just go and create the set. We'll call it the first set to be fixed. I'll click on continue. So this set is fixed, the bottom most part is fixed. Now click on done. Now we want to create a roller section, basically the boundary which will be not moving, because on both the sides this slope is continuous at the toe side and at the plateau side. We are assuming that this slope goes on for very long length. So we can apply this and this side as this and shift this, both this side as roller boundary condition. Now click on done. After this we can just go to load module and create the earthquake load, or sorry, gravity load. Gravity continue. It will be in negative y direction, so minus 9.81, that will be the gravity. And after gravity loading we have to apply the boundary conditions. The first boundary condition will be fixed, and it will be symmetry anti-symmetry applied from the initial boundary initial step, and it will be fixed. Click on continue, Encaster, okay. Then the next boundary condition will be roller. It will be displacement rotation boundary, and we'll apply it to roller, and it should be like okay. So there is a mistake anyway, but the boundary for the roller, there is no mistake in this. So for the roller boundary we have to apply it so that it will not move in x direction. So we'll check the u1 box, which is the x direction, first direction, and click on OK. And we have to remove the fixed boundary condition basically. So instead of fixed boundary, we have to create a roller boundary for the bottom boundary as well. So we'll click on displacement rotation, we'll select the fixed. Now what we want to do is that we want this bottom surface to not move in upward direction or in y direction. So we'll check on u2 and click on OK. And also what we want to do is that we want to apply acceleration to this bottom boundary. So we'll create an acceleration and angular displacement boundary condition. We'll call it EQ acceleration, and we'll click on continue. And for the fixed boundary, yeah, bottom boundary, we want to apply an earthquake acceleration in the x direction. So we'll check on y2. Basically we want to apply it in x direction, so just click on A1. And well, in the EQ load step, what we can do is we can assign the value, which is 9.81, and I have with me the Excel file of acceleration. So this is in the form of g. So these are the multiplier of g. So with the time, on the left hand side we have time, on the right hand side we have the amplitude of acceleration as a multiplier of g. So once we multiply this by g, we'll be using this kind of acceleration. We'll just copy this, and the amplitude is equal to 9.81, which is equal to g. So now we can just create an amplitude with those values, because those are actually the multiplier of g. So paste it, and you all know that acceleration is measured in the multiplier of g for the earthquake, like 0.8 g, 0.4 g, or like that, or 1 g, 2 g for heavier earthquake. So this much amplitude we have applied, and we'll use it here, and click on OK. So you can see that this direction has been assigned. Now we'll dismiss this, and the mistake which I was talking about is that when we go to roller surface, roller surface, we have to remove this bottom points, okay, because these are coinciding with the fixed surface. So we have to just click on control and select this point. Now you can see that these are pink colored, and pink colored basically means that these are excluded from the roller boundary condition, because we have to remove this point, because otherwise it will give us a conflict that these points have two boundary conditions, which we don't want to see, because roller boundary and fixed boundary, or different roller boundary, are basically coinciding at these points, at the bottom corner points. So we have to select either remove it from the roller boundary, or remove it from the fixed boundary. So we have removed it from the roller boundary. Now after loading, boundary condition is done, loading is done. What we have to do is that we have to go to mesh and basically mesh this geometry. We can use a plane strain geometry, that is much better in this case, and just click on OK and dismiss this and apply a mesh of let's say size of 0.5 and click on OK and click on yes. So this is our mesh, and now with any further ado, we can just create a test2 job and with the parallelization of 4 processors. We can submit it first for the data check, and after the data check has been completed, we'll see and submit it for the run. So you can see that the check is completed without any problem. Now after the check, we can just submit the job for the actual run and wait for the results to come out. So you can see that after submitting the job, it's completed without any errors. So we can just go and check out the results. So here in the results, you can basically see it's quite vivid as expected. Basically from the start, the earthquake motion started applying to the bottom boundary, and you can see only bottom boundary being displaced or being accelerated. And because we have applied the roller boundary condition to this vertical boundaries, we are not seeing any like motion which is very further from like fixed. So we have the roller boundaries are working that way, but the bottom node which we have exempted from being the roller boundary, so it is moving. So as you can see, only the bottom element is moving, and with the increase of acceleration as we go into the step module, the slope has almost failed due to might be some small value of cohesion. It is still intact, but we can call it a failure. And you can see the bottom nodes are almost displaced because we have exempted them from the vertical boundary condition of basically we have allowed them to have any displacement in x direction. So that's why you can basically like form a acceleration based analysis using earthquake motion. So I will finish my tutorial here. Thank you.